Imagine you're hanging out in a group and someone drops a mean comment at your expense. Maybe it's hidden as a joke, maybe it's said with a smile, but everyone heard it, and now all eyes are on you, waiting to see how you respond. Most people in that moment either fire back with something defensive, laugh it off in a way that makes it obvious they were actually offended, or freeze completely and say nothing, and spend the rest of the night replaying it in their head. All three of those reactions have one thing in common: the other person won. They got a reaction, they got control, and you walked away feeling smaller than when you walked in. But there is a fourth option, one that most people never learn. In the next 8 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how to become the kind of person that verbal attacks simply do not work on. And in order to become that person, you have to first understand what a verbal attack actually is. Most guys don't realize this, but a verbal attack is never really about what was said. It is about what the other person is trying to get. Think about it. When someone makes a comment at your expense in front of a group, what are they actually doing? They are running a test. They are throwing something at you to see how you react, because your reaction, not their comment, is what determines who comes out on top. If you get defensive, you confirm that the comment landed. If you get angry, you show them exactly how to trigger you next time. If you laugh it off, you signal that you are uncomfortable but too afraid to say anything. Every one of these reactions gives them exactly what they wanted, proof that they have power over you. A verbal attack is not a statement of fact, it is a grab for control. And the moment you understand that, everything changes. Because you stop asking yourself, how do I respond to what they said? And you start asking, how do I refuse to play this game? The answer to that question is what the rest of this video is about. But before we get into the specific responses, there is one thing you need to have in place first, and without it, none of the techniques will actually work. The foundation: stop depending on their approval. This is the real reason why verbal attacks hurt. It's not the words themselves, but the fact that somewhere inside you care what that person thinks of you. When someone says something mean about you in front of a group, the pain comes from a very specific fear. What if they are right? What if the others believe it? What if this changes how people see me? And as long as those questions have power over you, as long as you need the room to see you a certain way, you will always have a weak spot, because the person attacking you knows it, they can feel it, and they are using it. The foundation of being immune to verbal attacks is not a technique. It is getting to a place where your sense of self does not depend on what any particular person thinks of you in any particular moment. When you genuinely have that, a cheap shot in a group setting just does not carry much weight. The person saying it is not a reliable judge of who you are, and you know it. And this is how you build this kind of self-confidence. Keep the promises you make to yourself. You might think it doesn't matter what you do when nobody is watching, but it does. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you collect proof that you are a man of your word. Think of it like evidence for your own mind. This invisible proof shapes how you walk, how you speak, and how you carry yourself. And the more solid that foundation is, the less any single comment can shake it. Alright, that's the base. Now let's talk about what you actually do when someone takes a shot at you. The agree and amplify strategy. We all know this situation. You're gaming with a few friends or colleagues, and maybe you have a bad round and someone immediately lets you hear it. Bro, please delete the game. You're so trash, it hurts to watch. Most guys either get defensive, I was lagging, or that was not my fault, or they go quiet and absorb it. Both look weak, both confirm that the comment found a target. Here's a third option. You take the comment, agree with it completely, and push it so far into the absurd that it becomes impossible to take seriously. Trash? That's an understatement. This is my strongest round today. I'm basically carrying the whole team in the wrong direction. Or, I'm working on a new achievement, 0 kills in under 3 minutes, almost there. Why does this work? Because a verbal attack lives on resistance. The moment you fight back or justify yourself, you become the target. But when you take the comment, own it completely, and blow it up into something ridiculous, you take away their power. You're laughing at yourself before they get the chance. And that signals something the attacker did not expect. Your ego is not attached to this moment. You cannot be rattled by something you are already joking about yourself. The room laughs with you instead of at you, and the person who threw the comment is left with nothing. That works when you actually did something that gave them a reason to say the comment. But what happens when you did everything right and someone still takes a shot at you anyway? The definition move. Imagine you just gave a presentation. The project went exactly as planned and everyone seemed happy with how it turned out. Then, during lunch, a colleague, let's call him Kevin, says in front of the whole table, I mean, for a small project like that, you really made a big deal out of it. If I'd had as much time as you, it would have been a lot more professional. You did nothing wrong. Kevin is just threatened by the fact that you got some recognition, so he is trying to take you down before the others can notice how well you did. So what can you do in this situation? Pay attention to Kevin's language. He's using vague, emotional words like more professional. That's because he has no real argument, so the move here is to calmly ask him to be specific. You look at him, relaxed, no aggression, no passive aggression, and say, interesting. Which part of the presentation felt unprofessional to you? That's it. That one question does everything. Kevin has no real answer because there is no real problem. He was just attacking you for no reason. So now he has to either come up with something specific, which he cannot do, or backpedal in front of everyone. He will start mumbling something like, no, I just meant in general. And the whole table watches him fall apart while you stayed completely calm. You did not get angry, you did not defend yourself. You just asked a simple question and let his own emptiness do the work. This move works anytime someone uses vague criticism to take you down. The more specific you ask them to get, the less they have to stand on. And the calmer you are when you ask, the more exposed they look. Congratulations, you have handled the moment. But there is one mistake most guys make right after. Do not carry it with you. If someone verbally attacks you, the biggest mistake you can make doesn't happen in the moment. It happens after. Even when you handle the situation well, most people carry it with them for the rest of the evening. They replay it in their head. They think of all the things they could have said differently. The way to stop this is simple, but it takes a real decision. Once you have handled the situation, or even if you did not handle it perfectly, you close the file. Not by pretending it did not happen, but by genuinely deciding it does not deserve more of your energy. Someone said something. It happened. Now the conversation is moving on, and so are you. This does not mean changing the subject right in the middle of the moment when the disrespectful comment is still hanging in the air. Handle it first. Say what you need to say or let the pause do its work. And then, once it's actually done, get back into the room. Ask someone a question, make a comment about something else. Return your energy to the group instead of taking it somewhere inside your own head. The most impressive person after a verbal attack is not the one who had the best response. It is the one who handled it and moved on like it was the least interesting thing that happened that day. That ease, that ability to shake it off without effort, is what actually stays with people. Now, I know from experience that when you're actually in that moment, standing in front of a group, someone just said something disrespectful and all eyes are on you, everything you just learned can disappear in a second. Because knowing something and being able to use it in real life are two completely different things. And that's exactly what we want to solve. That's why we built the 7-Day Charisma Challenge. The challenge consists of 7 practical actions, 1 per day, designed to get you from watching to doing. The link is in the description. If you want to stop watching and start acting, this is your next step.